Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Sister Yasmin Isa, and it is June 14th, alhamdulillah. And I hope that you're doing well, inshallah. Today's podcast is not going to be too long, inshallah, because I actually got my wisdom teeth removed today, so I'm not really, not supposed to be moving my mouth too much, but alhamdulillah, I got them out almost 12 hours ago, so I'm okay. But I'm going to cut it short, but there is a really powerful message, inshallah. So powerful that I'm actually going to share it both with all of you loyal Success Club members as well as just everyone else in general on the MB Muslima mailing list. So before I begin, I want to start us off with a dua like we do every single week. And we're going to begin, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم اجعلنا من المتقين يا أرحم الراحمين ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. Ya Allah, thank you for gathering us here today. Ya Allah, increase us in patience. Ya Allah, increase us in sincerity. Ya Allah, increase us in khushu'. Ya Allah, allow us to remember that you are our only goal and everything else is simply a means. Ya Allah, forgive us for our mistakes and bestow your mercy upon us. Ameen, Ameen, Ya Rabbil Alameen. So every single week I spend about 5 minutes reminding all of you, the things that you need to be starting the podcast off with, all the things you need, such as a place to take notes, an intention, the Quran, and all of that. I'm not going to go through that regular reminder this week just because you have that in all the other podcasts and it takes about 5 minutes, and that's 5 less minutes of me talking. I hope you understand based on the circumstances, inshallah. But please, please, please make sure you're not listening to this if you're not set up for success. You will also in the email see exactly what I'm talking about, but I'm sure you know because I talk about it every week. So today we're going to talk about how to be unshakable. First, I want to explain what I mean by that. What I mean is that we should not be so easily shaken by other people, by our own selves, by our circumstances. The only thing that should shake us is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, in reality, we're not trying to be unshakable because, we are, we can be shaken by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but that just sounds really cool. That's what we're going to use. And, with the understanding that we're talking about everything except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning nothing else should shake us. And I'm going to go through some, really quick but powerful tips for you to implement this right now. So this podcast is all about, action. And I'm going to reference some of our old podcasts that could kind of explain a little bit more of the underlying ideology or the thinking that goes behind these action steps if you forgot or didn't get a chance to listen to them. So the very first important aspect of being unshakable is that we need to detoxify ourselves of caring so much what other people think. Now, we shouldn't disregard other people and their emotions because, as we know, as inshallah believers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should be caring what other people feel by our actions, and we have responsibilities towards our brothers and sisters in Islam and in humanity. What I mean by this, though, is that we really need to stop caring what people think about us in terms of all the things that we think about, when we're self-conscious, Maybe it has to do with, for some sisters, wearing hijab. There might be some issues there of what people think. Or it might even be, just truly being yourself and executing ideas. we really shouldn't. Today it was funny because, obviously as a Muslim woman that wears hijab, alhamdulillah, I live in New Jersey, so it's really not that big of a deal because there are lots of hijabis in New Jersey, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen. And, alhamdulillah, it's not something that phases me, but I'm sure there are still people who, have thoughts when they see myself or any other sister in a scarf. But today, add that up with having a swollen face for the majority of the day, and this really attractive thing around my head that my oral surgeon gave me, an ice pack. I definitely got some interesting looks today. Some very nice, sympathetic types of looks, but also some very strange ones. But, that didn't stop me, alhamdulillah. And it's just a reminder that it's our human nature to want to be liked and to want to fit in, but honestly, that's not what's most important. As the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to be true to ourselves, and you'll find that you will never truly be happy if you care what others think, because then you just get consumed in what other people think, and that's really just a waste of time. So I'm just going to say, be bold and be who you are, but at the same time realize that you have standards. You can't just do whatever you want to do. You need to make sure you're pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's really our goal. On the day of judgment, that's what we're going to be asked about. Now, if we're so consumed with what other people think of us, well, guess what? We're not. You can't be consumed with what other people think about. We can't be consumed at the same time of what others think of us and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala thinks of us. By doing that, we're actually diluting the standard of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wants from us. So, and realize this, it's so awesome because when you do what pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're automatically going to do what, will be liked by the people. And if it's not, then those are not the type of people you want liking you anyway, and it's not going to matter. You need to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I need to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm just going to say, be bold and just do it. Stop it. Stop being self-conscious. Stop, all of those things. I know they are legitimate. I am not saying they don't matter, but I'm just saying, be bold and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and watch Him pave for you the way to shine, inshallah. Step number 2, get out of your own way. What do I mean by that? Okay, let's say someone wants to accomplish something. I deal with this all the time, women who want to lose weight. Now, some people are straight to the point. They do exactly what they need to do, and as a result, they get, the results they're looking after. Others sometimes, want something, but they do something that is diametrically opposed to what they need to be doing. And basically, when I say to get out of your own way, it means, figure out your action steps. We have many podcasts that can help you figure that out. But, and do what you need to do. Stop getting in your own way, because when you're getting in your own way, you are not unshakable. You are actually stagnant. It's kind of like taking 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. You don't want to do that. And we really, should be doing that. So for instance, if you have a problem getting up for Fajr, and you keep saying you want to do it, but you just don't do it, ask yourself, what time are you going to bed? What time are you, preparing yourself to go to bed? Or do you prioritize Fajr? Or whatever your goal may be. It's going to be different for everyone. But make sure you're not in your own way in regards to that. And step 3 is going to, and these aren't steps that go in order, but just 3 different concepts. We're going to end with the best part, which is our ayah of the day. It's not really of the day, but of the podcast. And it comes from, I know I usually tell you in the beginning, but if you haven't recognized, this podcast is a little bit different than our typical podcast, alhamdulillah, in regards to the formatting. But we are at Surah Al-Baqarah, which is Surah number 2, and ayah number 153. And we're only going to look at we're going to look at the whole ayah, but first I want to talk about the second half of the ayah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna Allaha ma sabirin. Indeed, Allah is with the patient. Now, if you want to be unshakable to everything except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do not think for 1 second that you will accomplish that without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guarding you. And if I want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be with me, and if you want Him to be with you, then guess what? We need to be of as-sabirin, the patient. So important. Really important. And the great thing is that this ayah starts out with, O you who have believed. Seek help through patience and prayer. I want to zone in on the word seek help. What are you doing? What am I doing when we make dua? When we make dua, we are seeking help, right? The key to seeking help is through patience and prayer. Sounds obvious. I know you've heard this a million times, so have I. But guess what? As human beings, we are forgetful. And this is a reminder for myself and for you, inshallah, because it doesn't really matter if you do the other two things I spoke about, but you don't do this. Or if I do the other two and I don't do this. So important. So that is what I have for you today. Oh, by the way, if you want more on patience, you guys know that we had a whole nice long podcast, not terribly long, but a complete podcast on patience, the secret to success, inshallah. So definitely refresh yourself with that. You also got your PDF action guide in regards to that, so you are good to go. And my mom would probably kill me if she knew I was recording this right now, because she's been telling me to rest all day, but alhamdulillah, gotta do it, you gotta do. And I like recording these live on Jummah, because I feel there is barakah when that's done. That's why I don't record them on a different day and pretend like it's from today. So this is live from June 14th, alhamdulillah. And don't worry, I made sure to record it after I didn't sound as weird as I sounded earlier. Alhamdulillah. Please keep me in your dua. You are all in my dua. And I will speak to you next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me for any mistakes, inshallah.